That's funnier if you've seen the movie, but if you haven't, what's the point, you know? What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about the brand new film, Brahms, The Boy 2. Love this title. No, but we're going to talk about it. I need you in the comments down below. Were you a fan of the first film? Are you looking forward to the sequel? Let's get right into it. So after a family moves into the Heelshire Mansion, their young son soon makes friends, of course, with a lifelike doll called Brahms. This film stars Katie Holmes, Ralph Ineson, some reasonably decent-sized names for a movie with this low of a budget, coming straight from a film that, you know, people liked. The Boy came out a couple of years ago. It has its fans, but even massive fans of that movie will tell you, well, it's not necessarily one that a lot of people go back to. I thought it was fine. I was on Letterboxd, realized hadn't even given it a rating, so kind of forgot about it. But I was interested to see what they were going to do with the sequel. Look, the big issue with this movie, and we'll get right into it, is one, the fact that Katie Holmes is fine in the film, right? She's fine. But her character is such a terrible decision maker when it comes to protecting her son and her family, and the fact that they give her the backstory that they do should have meant more to that character, but they kind of forget about it, and they kind of shoehorn the entire thing at the beginning, where basically they get attacked by these random people that are robbing their house, and it's such an oddly filmed and paced scene, but her character constantly makes decisions that are just, what are you doing? She sees something absolutely insane. She's hearing voices. She starts to realize that maybe her son is telling the truth about the doll, and she's just like, it's cool. Hey, you're talking now. By the way, the kid in this movie, after the tragic event happens at the beginning, he goes throughout most of the movie not talking. So what he does is he writes on the little pieces of paper, or his little notepad. But the way that the film portrays this, it's so funny, and I understand what they're trying to do, right? They're cutting to when he's actually finished his writing, but it's always, every time they do it, it feels like he's writing as fast as humanly possible. Like he has time to write 2 words, and he has a novel written. I'm confused. Just imagine, Katie Holmes asks me a question, the page is blank, I start writing. And to go back to the decision-making, I'm not going to spoil any major reveals or twists that happen in this third act as the twist happened in the first film, and that was something that I found interesting. I just don't think it necessarily worked for what they were going for in that movie, but this film basically negates the first The Boy. Right? It just doesn't matter, because what they do and how they go about this, they establish something in that first movie. The fact that it's not the doll doing these things, but in this film, you see the doll move. You see the doll doing exactly what we didn't get to see in the first film, and it's like, but which one is the right one? And it's so rare you see a horror sequel do what this sequel does to the original, and that's honestly make the original just a tad bit worse than it already was. And this film amplifies all of the negatives that I had with that first movie, and it does the same cliche horror thing that we've seen in 1,000 films. It's the most pointless of jump scares. I'm talking a dog barking, a bang on a tree, just ridiculous things. And there was, now I will say this, there was one moment when a jump scare was actually effective, and I liked the imagery. Right, and if you ask my audience that was in the theater with me, there were multiple moments because they screamed throughout the entire movie. I'm talking characters just turning the corner. It would cause them to scream. But I did not find that to be the case. I found the jump scares to be extremely lazy. Back to the fact that they found the doll in the woods. My mom just would have been like, nope, put it back. It's nasty. But they're like, oh, keep that, son. Just wash it or clean it. But you've already touched it. But it's okay. If you clean it later, it will be fine. And she's completely oblivious about the entire thing. And I don't even want to talk about the husband, because he is oblivious to the fact that she is at least starting to realize things. But when she starts to actually realize them, she just forgets about them. There is a moment when something happens and it causes her to rejoice, and she forgets about the really scary and creepy 5 to 10 minute span that she just experienced that would scar me for life, but she forgot about it very quickly. It's that kind of writing that ruins movies like this. It's that kind of writing that, like I said, almost negates the first movie. And in the midst of all of this madness that is happening with this doll and the fact that their son is acting really creepy and the doll's like, hey, I want a plate for dinner too because I'm hungry, they invite family over. They invite their cousins or the brothers with the cousins, and of course, one of the cousins is like the bully, the mean kid, and he's like, ah, you're weird, you've got a doll, but I'm cool, because I'm a cousin. Look, I can't necessarily blame the cast for this. Katie Holmes was fine. I'm not the world's biggest Katie Holmes fan, but she didn't do anything wrong. It's just her character was so oblivious. The husband, what was he doing the whole time? The kid was okay, you know, but the story is what really fell apart here, and it made every single conventional trope so apparent every single time they tried to do something fancy. I did appreciate the camera movements in the first scene, and there's another one take later on. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Effort. We like effort. That's nice, but it didn't make up for the rest of this movie, which I thought was boring. So boring. Yeah, I don't necessarily know who this is for. Maybe someone looking for your average horror film. I mean, fans of the first film are going to be upset because of what it does to that first movie. Those who are looking for something different get the exact same problems that I had with the first film. So what is Brahms the Boy 2? Why is it called Brahms the Boy 2? Hey, if you guys like these kinds of videos, if you enjoy these reviews, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and come back. I can't go high with this score. I thought that movie was really bad. I'm going 23% for Brahms the Boy 2. What a year for horror so far. It's not been good. I really hope we have The Invisible Man coming out next week. Hopefully that starts to turn the tide with The Quiet Place 2 and some other A24 things. Hopefully. My goodness. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments down below. There is some enjoyment to be had, I guess, from a movie like this. So I would like to see and hear what you guys are getting out of it. And stay tuned because I'm watching a lot of things this weekend. Some Netflix series, Hunters on Amazon Prime, and plenty of movies to go around. You guys are the best. See you later.